What does it take to step out of a parent's shadow? From Golden Age icons to modern legends, Hollywood's dynasties are built on talent, rivalry, and resilience. Join us as we unravel the stories of stars who inherited fame and the ones who forged their own paths. First, a name synonymous with rebellion and revival: Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore and John Barrymore. Drew Barrymore's journey began under the Hollywood sign, her face alight with wonder in E.T., a role that turned her into a household name at just 7 years old. But long before Drew charmed audiences, her grandfather John Barrymore ruled the stages and screens of early cinema. Dubbed the Great Profile, John's commanding presence defined both silent films and talkies, from his brooding turn in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde to his Broadway triumph as Hamlet, a performance hailed as one of the greatest in theatrical history. While John's legacy was etched in tragedy and triumph, Drew's path veered into turbulence. Her early stardom spiraled into rebellion, marked by public struggles with addiction, a fall from grace that made headlines. Yet, like a phoenix, she emerged anew, transforming into a versatile actress and shrewd producer. Her production company, Flower Films, became a beacon of her resilience, birthing hits like 50 First Dates and Charlie's Angels. Though separated by decades, Drew and John share a lineage steeped in theatrical royalty. John's dramatic intensity and Drew's heartfelt charm both bear the Barrymore hallmark, a fearless dedication to performance. For Drew, John's shadow was both warning and inspiration. "His genius and his demons taught me to fight," she once reflected. Today, the Barrymore name endures not just in reels and stages, but in the relentless spirit of reinvention that defines their art. Geraldine Chaplin and Charlie Chaplin. Geraldine Chaplin carved out her own niche in cinema, embracing roles that showcased her knack for ethereal, introspective characters. Her artistry, however, is undeniably linked to her father, Charlie Chaplin, born in April 1889, whose iconic tramp character revolutionized silent film comedy. Charlie's journey from London's impoverished streets to global fame was a testament to his comedic genius and heartfelt storytelling, culminating in timeless classics like City Lights and Modern Times. Geraldine inherited that flair for performance and a certain sense of whimsical gravitas. She found her breakthrough in the mid-1960s with films such as Dr. Zhivago, where she illuminated the screen with a subtle yet compelling presence. While Charlie Chaplin made audiences roar with laughter, Geraldine's approach leaned toward delicate portrayals, often tinged with pathos and introspection, an intriguing reflection of her father's more dramatic undercurrents. Beyond acting, Geraldine's career encompassed multilingual projects, thanks to her upbringing in Switzerland and familiarity with various European cultures. She participated in international productions, teaming with directors like Carlos Saura for avant-garde Spanish cinema, and forging a distinctive path that set her apart. Still, Charlie Chaplin's long shadow remained a reference point, celebrated every time Geraldine took on a challenging role. The father-daughter bond in the Chaplin family underscores the perennial influence of silent-era innovation on modern storytelling. Charlie's comedic artistry left the blueprint, and Geraldine's interpretive depth breathed new life into the Chaplin name for generations to come. Ilana Douglas and Melvyn Douglas. Ilana Douglas grew up surrounded by the legacy of her grandfather, Melvyn Douglas. Melvyn's refined performances, whether on Broadway or in Hollywood films, set the benchmark for acting versatility. A two-time Academy Award winner, he became known for striking roles in HUD in 1963 and Being There in 1979. His dignified voice and unflappable presence made him a sought-after leading man, particularly in sophisticated dramas and urbane comedies. Ilana charted her own trajectory, seamlessly moving between acting, writing, and producing. Early roles in films like Goodfellas and Cape Fear demonstrated her gift for tackling strong supporting characters. She then ventured into comedic territory with appearances in offbeat independent movies and television guest spots, earning a reputation for her nuanced comedic timing. Ilana has frequently mentioned Melvin's influence, not just in performance technique, but also in the importance of picking projects with substance. In addition to acting, Ilana has authored works and produced web series, further asserting a creative flair that transcends traditional Hollywood roots. Her irreverent style, combined with a respect for classic cinema, reveals how Melvin's presence remains embedded in her career choices. Through interviews and documentary tributes, she's made sure to honor her grandfather's legacy, upholding a family tradition of innovation and depth on screen. The Douglas family story proves that Hollywood lineage can be both a springboard and a guiding light, fostering new avenues for performance artistry across eras. Mary Crosby and Bing Crosby. Mary Crosby entered the world of entertainment under the watchful gaze of her father, the legendary crooner Bing Crosby, born in May 1903. Bing's buttery smooth baritone enchanted audiences in timeless hits like White Christmas, and his work in early radio defined popular music standards for decades. While Bing dazzled in film and music, Mary found her calling as an actress, becoming widely recognized for her portrayal of Kristen Shepherd on the TV series Dallas. Growing up, Crosby meant inheriting a revered legacy. Bing's extensive catalog of recordings, his cinematic achievements in Going My Way and The Bells of St. Mary's, and his relaxed, signature crooner style. Despite the heavy mantle, Mary approached her acting with determination, focusing on television rather than music. In Dallas, she delivered the infamous Who Shot J.R. cliffhanger twist, cementing her place in pop culture history. That storyline gripped millions of viewers, showcasing her flair for dramatic tension. Beyond her acting career, Mary distinguished herself academically, completing her high school education early and diving into college at the age of 15. This thirst for knowledge, combined with her bilingual fluency in Spanish, opened international avenues and shaped a cosmopolitan view rarely associated with those from classic Hollywood families. While she may not have followed her father's musical path, Mary's resilience and quest for individuality echo the pioneering spirit that made Bing a legend. Together, they form a family story underscored by versatility, talent, and enduring popularity. Jane Fonda and Henry Fonda. Jane Fonda is more than just an actress. She's an outspoken activist, fitness guru, and cultural icon. Her father, Henry Fonda, born in May 1905, symbolized steadfast integrity on screen, particularly in classics such as The Grapes of Wrath and 12 Angry Men. While Henry projected the aura of the quintessential American everyman, Jane molded her career through risk-taking roles and bold political stances. Though father and daughter had their differences, they famously appeared together in On Golden Pond in 1981, a poignant film that mirrored their off-screen dynamic. Henry's portrayal earned him an Oscar, while Jane's performance demonstrated her evolving craft, a blend of vulnerability and steely resolve. Their collaboration reflected a familial tension, softened by mutual respect for the craft of acting. Henry's legacy of nuanced, morally principled characters set the stage for Jane's activism, bridging the gap between on-screen roles and real-life causes. Jane's philanthropic and activist efforts span decades, from her Vietnam War protests that branded her Hanoi Jane to her recent climate change demonstrations. She has never shied away from controversy or championing issues she believes in. Meanwhile, Henry's cinematic blueprint remains a benchmark for sincerity, influencing generations of actors who strive to emulate his authenticity. Together, they forged a lineage of commitment to art, to personal convictions, and to the relentless pursuit of growth. Their bond, sometimes fraught, stands as one of Hollywood's most emblematic tales of familial passion. David Carradine and John Carradine. David Carradine inherited an illustrious acting legacy from his father, John Carradine. John was among the most recognizable character actors of Hollywood's golden age, featuring in major John Ford classics like Stagecoach and The Grapes of Wrath. His deep voice and angular features made him a frequent cast member in dramatic, sometimes ominous roles, earning respect for his profound theatrical background. Emerging in the 1970s, David became synonymous with the role of Kwai Chang Caine in the TV series Kung Fu, captivating viewers with the show's fusion of martial arts philosophy and Western storytelling. David's journey was marked by a spiritual curiosity that shaped his selection of roles and personal lifestyle. This reflective quality distinguished him from John's more traditionally dramatic presence. Yet the father's influence remained clear. Both reveled in complex characters and brought emotional layers to every portrayal. A turning point for David arrived with collaborations in film, including his iconic portrayal of Bill in Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill series. Meanwhile, John's extensive filmography, rumored to exceed 200 roles, underscores a devotion to his craft that seeped into David's life philosophy. Despite personal hardships and well-publicized eccentricities, David continued to credit John's unwavering commitment to artistry as his compass. The Carradine family thus reflects a captivating blend of old Hollywood's gravitas and the free-wheeling spirit of the new Hollywood era, bridging multiple generations of on-screen enchantment. Ricky Nelson and Ozzie Nelson. Ricky Nelson navigated show business under the guidance of his father, Ozzie Nelson. Ozzie helmed the popular radio and television series The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, airing from the 1940s through the 1960s, where his affable persona and family-centered humor defined an era of wholesome American entertainment. As the youngest cast member, Ricky grew up before the nation's eyes, gradually incorporating his musical ambitions into the show's storyline. By his teenage years, Ricky was already a rising pop music idol, with songs like Hello Mary Lou showcasing his smooth vocals and melodic sensibilities. Integrated performances on the family sitcom allowed him to seamlessly promote his evolving discography, an innovative approach for the era. Ozzie's management style was hands-on, directing, producing, and shaping the show's content around his family's real-life experiences. Equal parts father figure and shrewd industry mentor. Despite this early triumph, Ricky yearned to break away from the squeaky clean image. He ventured into rockabilly and country rock, forging a career that spanned multiple chart-topping hits. His father's influence remained potent, for it was within the comfortable bubble of Ozzie and Harriet that Ricky perfected his performance skill set. Though personal struggles and the shifting music landscape complicated Ricky's later years, he never lost that spark inherited from a family who made homegrown entertainment a national phenomenon. Their story illuminates how the lines between real life and on-screen persona can blur, producing both immense success and profound personal challenges. Anjelica Huston and John Huston. Anjelica Huston continues a distinguished artistic legacy passed down by her father, John Huston. John's career as an esteemed director, screenwriter, and occasional actor shaped classic Hollywood cinema through revered works like The Maltese Falcon and The African Queen. Possessing an adventurous spirit and a penchant for rich storytelling, John garnered multiple Academy Award nominations and was recognized for coaxing nuanced performances from his actors. Anjelica grew up amid film sets and bohemian getaways, cultivating a deep appreciation for creative expression. She initially pursued modeling in the 1960s, working with celebrated fashion photographers. However, her father's cinematic domain beckoned, leading to memorable roles such as Meros Prizzi in Prizzi's Honor in 1985, which earned her an Oscar. Collaborating with John on that film not only cemented Anjelica's star power, but also underscored the father-daughter synergy in front of and behind the camera. Her subsequent performances, from Morticia Addams in The Addams Family to her roles in Wes Anderson's whimsical worlds, reflect a blend of sophistication and idiosyncrasy reminiscent of John's bold directorial choices. Beyond acting, Angelica has ventured into directing, capturing her father's spirit for narrative and visual depth. The Huston lineage epitomizes a creative dynasty where bold artistry meets family legacy. John's imprint on the golden age of cinema merges seamlessly with Angelica's modern Hollywood presence, forming a multi-generational tapestry of storytelling brilliance that continues to captivate audiences worldwide. Patrick Wayne and John Wayne. Patrick Wayne inherited the robust Western legacy of his father, John Wayne. John Wayne epitomized the quintessential all-American hero, best known for iconic performances in Stagecoach, The Searchers, and True Grit. Dubbed the Duke, he embodied rugged individualism and old-school moral codes, dominating the Western and war film genres for decades. Growing up with one of the most famous faces in Hollywood, Patrick found himself in a unique position, often cast in roles alongside his father. Among their notable collaborations was the epic The Alamo in 1960, where Patrick portrayed Captain James Butler Bonham. Working under John Wayne's directorial oversight offered Patrick a front-row seat to his father's exacting vision and unwavering dedication. Though overshadowed by John's towering persona, Patrick carved out his own career, appearing in over 40 films, including family-friendly adventure flicks that contrasted with the gritty westerns of his father's era. Despite sharing scenes on set, Patrick's path diverged when he shifted to hosting the game show Tic-Tac-Dough in 1990, showcasing a lighter side rarely explored in John's filmography. This transition highlighted Patrick's adaptability, proving that the Wayne name could stretch beyond cinematic gunfights. Yet the father-son bond remained evident. For Patrick, carrying forward the integrity and work ethic that John exemplified was more crucial than replicating his exact star trajectory. Their relationship, woven through shared screen time and personal commitment, testifies to a lineage of strength, resilience, and devotion within Hollywood's storied Western heritage. Jeff Bridges and Lloyd Bridges. Jeff Bridges represents a versatile force in contemporary cinema, tracing his roots to father Lloyd Bridges. Lloyd enjoyed widespread recognition in films like High Noon and as the star of the TV series Sea Hunt in 1958 to 1961. Renowned for his genial aura and broad smile, Lloyd's career thrived in both comedic and dramatic roles, laying the foundation for Jeff's future success. Growing up on film sets, Jeff made his cinematic debut at the age of 2, appearing with his mother in The Company She Keeps in 1951. Yet his real breakthrough came decades later, propelled by roles in The Last Picture Show in 1971 and Starman in 1984. While Lloyd's steadfast, charming persona shaped the older generation's perception, Jeff's screen presence shifted fluidly between drama, comedy, and even cult classic status through The Dude in The Big Lebowski in 1998. The Bridges family often collaborated, with Lloyd and Jeff occasionally sharing the screen. Their appearances illuminated a warm, off-screen dynamic, underscored by mutual admiration. As Jeff's career advanced, culminating in an Oscar win for Crazy Heart in 2009, he frequently referenced Lloyd's inspiring work ethic and comedic timing. Both father and son are also known for their philanthropy and love of music. Jeff is an accomplished guitarist, while Lloyd enjoyed theatrical singing. Ultimately, the Bridges clan embodies a lineage of adaptability and camaraderie, proving that Hollywood success can be harmoniously passed from one generation to the next. Romina Power and Tyrone Power. Romina Power grew up with the cinematic aura of her father, Tyrone Power. Tyrone was a dashing leading man in Hollywood's golden age, starring in swashbuckling adventures like The Mark of Zorro and major romantic dramas. His magnetic on-screen presence made him one of the era's most sought-after idols, drawing audiences worldwide with a balance of charisma and gentlemanly grace. From early childhood, Romina absorbed her father's adventurous spirit, though her path led primarily into the music industry. Teaming with the Italian singer Albano Carisi, She formed the duo Albano and Romina Power, captivating European audiences throughout the 1970s and 1980s, with hits like Felicita. This shift from Hollywood's epic sets to European pop charts illustrated her willingness to forge a unique identity beyond her father's cinematic renown. Romina also explored acting in Italian films, tapping into her bilingual heritage and further distinguishing her from Tyrone's earlier Hollywood roles. Despite his premature death when Romina was still a child, she frequently acknowledges the connection she feels through his films. She has pursued painting and writing as well, broadening her creative palette. The Power family's dynamic stands as a cross-continental tapestry of artistry, from Tyrone's iconic stage fights and courtly romances to Romina's melodic journeys and cultural fusion. In uniting old Hollywood glamour with modern European pop, they've showcased the global resonance of a storied surname, Isabella Rossellini and Ingrid Bergman. Isabella Rossellini is the daughter of screen legend Ingrid Bergman, whose luminous talent graced classics like Casablanca in 1942 and Notorious in 1946. Ingrid's serene beauty and nuanced performances built a timeless cinematic legacy, bridging both European and American film industries. Her partnership with Roberto Rossellini resulted in an artistic revolution in Italian neorealism, a dramatic shift that also shaped the course of Isabella's life. Though Isabella began as a model, famed for her collaboration with Lancôme, she eventually embraced acting, starring in eclectic works like David Lynch's Blue Velvet in 1986. In these roles, Isabella displayed a daring spirit reminiscent of her mother's willingness to push boundaries. Both women combined elegance with depth, forging emotional connections that transcended the screen. Yet, Isabella's creative journey also extended into writing and academic pursuits. She produced short films exploring the mating rituals of animals, displaying a scientific curiosity and whimsical storytelling flair. Her relationship to Ingrid's stardom has often been respectful, yet ambivalent. Isabella acknowledges her mother's greatness without being overshadowed, meticulously crafting a path that integrates heritage and innovation. With multiple languages at her command and an ability to glide between Hollywood projects and independent European productions, she continues Ingrid's legacy of transnational appeal. Ultimately, the Bergman-Rossellini lineage transcends mere cinematic accomplishment, embracing a broader intellectual and cultural curiosity that has helped define both mother and daughter as iconic figures in 20th and 21st century arts. Nancy Sinatra and Frank Sinatra. Nancy Sinatra carried forward the musical legacy of her father, Frank Sinatra. Frank's reputation as the voice resonated globally, enchanting generations with hits like My Way and Fly Me to the Moon. He stood at the forefront of American pop culture, bridging big band swing and modern pop styles, while also excelling in film. His Oscar-winning performance in From Here to Eternity validated his multifaceted talent. Nancy emerged in the swinging 1960s with a distinct sound and style. Her breakout tune, These Boots Are Made for Walkin', captured the era's rebellious flair and cemented her as a pop icon. Unlike her father's polished crooning, Nancy's music embraced a bolder aesthetic, blending rock, pop, and a hint of country. Collaborations with songwriter-producer Lee Hazelwood further expanded her repertoire, leading to hits that combined sultry vocals with orchestrations reminiscent of filmic soundscapes. Despite forging her own path, Nancy acknowledged Frank's guiding influence. He championed her pursuits, and they occasionally collaborated, as in the sentimental duet, Something Stupid. The father-daughter synergy bridged generation gaps, revealing a mutual respect that transcended musical style. Frank's unwavering work ethic and mastery of phrasing seeped into Nancy's performances, even as she cultivated a unique identity. Their story illustrates a familial harmony that yielded enduring classics, spotlighting how old Hollywood glamour blended with 1960s counterculture in a timeless father-daughter duet. Cecilia Peck and Gregory Peck. Cecilia Peck grew up in the shadow of her father Gregory Peck. Gregory's portrayal of Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird etched him into cinematic history as a paragon of integrity. Beyond that definitive role, he lent depth to classics like Roman Holiday, balancing gravitas with warmth. Gregory's illustrious career, marked by an Academy Award and numerous accolades, offered a moral compass both on and off the screen. Inspired by his quiet dignity, Cecilia chose a path that straddled film and advocacy. She produced and directed notable documentaries, including A Conversation with Gregory Peck in 1999, which offered an intimate behind-the-scenes glimpse at her father's life and philosophy. Cecilia's documentarian style tends toward uncovering personal truths, amplifying voices, and championing social justice. Echoes of Gregory's dedication to humanistic causes in his private and public life. While she did dabble in acting, appearing in films such as Torn Apart, Cecilia found her calling in the realm of storytelling and social commentary. Her production credits reflect a commitment to topical issues, and she's spoken extensively about Gregory's influence on her moral framework. Together, they exemplify how a family legacy can be more than mere performance. It can be a guiding set of principles. In bridging cinematic tradition with conscientious filmmaking, the Pecks demonstrate that integrity and creativity can flourish side by side, passing from one generation to the next with abiding impact on popular culture and societal discourse. Michael Douglas and Kirk Douglas. Michael Douglas, born in September 1944, blazed his own trail within Hollywood. Yet the roots of his success trace back to his father, Kirk Douglas, born in December 1916. Kirk's intense performances in films like Spartacus in 1960 and Paths of Glory in 1957 made him a symbol of determination and tenacity. Surviving a humble childhood, Kirk embraced the dream factory of Hollywood with a vigor that garnered him critical acclaim and box office success, culminating in an honorary Oscar in 1996. Michael's early forays into acting and producing paralleled Kirk's unstoppable drive. He hit pay dirt, producing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 1975, a film originally championed by Kirk for the stage. Michael's subsequent roles, from Wall Street in 1987, which earned him a Best Actor Oscar, to the psychologically charged Fatal Attraction, cemented his status as a leading man with a penchant for complex characters. Despite their overlapping fame, father and son seldom appeared together on screen. However, they co-starred in It Runs in the Family in 2003, alongside Michael's son Cameron, bridging 3 generations of Douglases. The film subtly highlighted their real-life dynamics, ambition, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to storytelling. Even as Kirk stepped away from the limelight, Michael continued forging deals, starring in blockbusters, and experimenting with comedic roles. Their intertwined successes epitomize the synergy of shared passion. A Hollywood dynasty echoing through decades, proof that extraordinary dedication and magnetic presence can span generations, shaping the very fabric of cinematic history. Christopher Mitchum and Robert Mitchum. Christopher Mitchum, born in October 1943, followed in the footsteps of his father Robert Mitchum, born in August 1917. A performer hailed for effortless cool and a brooding aura that found prime expression in noir classics like Out of the Past and Cape Fear. Robert's trademark laconic drawl and steely presence cemented his place among Hollywood's anti-heroes, bridging mainstream popularity with a tough guy mystique. Christopher ventured into acting during the late 1960s and 1970s, often cast in action films and westerns. One of his notable collaborations was with John Wayne, showcasing Christopher's adaptability and knack for the genre. But while Robert's stardom largely revolved around Tinseltown's major studios, Christopher embraced international opportunities, spanning Spain and the Philippines, where he headlined genre flicks that cultivated a dedicated following. His father's shadow loomed large, yet Christopher carved his own identity as an actor, proving that stardom can be reinterpreted and globalized. Although Christopher lacked Robert's iconic persona, he maintained steady work and ventured into screenwriting, broadening his creative pursuits. Throughout interviews, Christopher acknowledged the dual blessing and burden of being a Mitchum, noting how Robert's larger-than-life reputation could either open doors or set impossibly high expectations. Yet the shared name also evokes an unyielding spirit, a refusal to be pigeonholed, and a penchant for roles that emphasize grit. Their stories symbolize how resilience and adaptability can define Hollywood legacies, even when destiny seems determined by an iconic surname. Robert Walker Jr. and Robert Walker. Robert Walker Jr., born in April 1940, entered the world of acting with the legacy of his father, Robert Walker, born in October 1921. The elder Walker achieved fame for his memorable performance as Bruno Anthony in Alfred Hitchcock's Strangers on a Train in 1951, a role that balanced charm with chilling menace. His career, though tragically brief, showcased a versatile talent that found synergy with some of Hollywood's top directors. Following this lineage, Robert Walker Jr. stepped into the limelight during the 1960s, frequently appearing in television series and films. One highlight was his Golden Globe-winning turn in The Ceremony in 1963, marking him as a promising star among his contemporaries. Television audiences would remember him best for the Star Trek episode Charlie X, where he portrayed a troubled young man endowed with formidable powers. The performance echoed his father's ability to shift between vulnerability and intensity at a moment's notice. Despite the shared name, Robert Walker Jr. pursued paths divergent from his father's trajectory, exploring stage roles and lesser-known film projects. While he never reached the stratospheric heights of Hollywood's biggest names, he built a steady career defined by thoughtful character choices. In interviews, he often reflected on the emotional weight of a father he barely knew. His father's early death left behind an unfinished legacy and a powerful reference point for Jr.'s own ambitions. Together, they remain a poignant example of generational talent, bound by name, circumstances, and an enduring fascination with complex, deeply human roles. Liza Minnelli and Judy Garland. Liza Minnelli, born in March 1946, is the daughter of the incomparable Judy Garland, born in June 1922. Judy's portrayal of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz made her an enduring icon, yet her career extended far beyond that Technicolor fantasy, embracing concerts, television specials, and acclaimed film roles such as A Star is Born. Judy's powerful, emotive voice dazzled audiences worldwide, but behind the scenes, she grappled with the immense pressures of stardom. Liza's emergence carried the weight of that storied legacy. Her professional debut at age 3, alongside Judy at the London Palladium, previewed a lifetime under the spotlight. Evolving into one of the rare performers to achieve the EGOT, winning an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony, Liza proved her talents were no mere reflection of her mother's brilliance. Her signature role as Sally Bowles in Cabaret epitomized her explosive stage presence and soulful vocals. Yet the mother-daughter dynamic was often fraught, marked by the complexities of Judy's personal struggles. Liza has acknowledged that she inherited Judy's showmanship, drive, and vulnerabilities, shaping her own path with unwavering dedication. Through celebrated concert tours and iconic collaborations, like her work with choreographer Bob Fosse, Liza firmly established herself as a musical theater legend. Collectively, Judy and Liza's narrative is a tapestry of heartbreak, triumph, and artistic genius, illustrating how the power of performance can transcend generational challenges and redefine what it means to live in the public eye. Melissa Newman and Paul Newman. Melissa Newman, born in September 1961, is the daughter of Paul Newman, born in January 1925. whose piercing blue eyes and charismatic roles made him one of Hollywood's definitive leading men. Known for Cool Hand Luke in 1967, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid in 1969, and numerous other hits, Paul combined charm with a rebellious streak that resonated across generations. His philanthropic ventures, like Newman's own, demonstrated that stardom could be channeled towards social good. Though Melissa dabbled in acting, appearing in films such as Mr. and Mrs. Bridge in 1990 alongside her parents, she eventually explored other creative horizons. Sculpture, painting, and a passion for singing became focal points of her personal expression, showcasing an artistic flair that paralleled her father's cinematic artistry. She rarely sought the limelight, instead carving out a more private existence that values family and craftsmanship, while still honoring the Newman name. Philanthropy also features prominently in Melissa's life, echoing Paul's dedication to charitable causes. She has participated in various community initiatives and helps carry forward the Newman legacy, which includes a commitment to children's camps and food-related charities. This nuanced interplay of public persona and personal growth underscores the Newman family's belief that success transcends box office hits. It can be equally measured by meaningful contributions beyond the camera lens. In forging her own path, Melissa exemplifies how Hollywood heritage can blossom into diverse avenues of creativity and kindness, weaving an enduring legacy that continues to benefit others. Jamie Lee Curtis and Tony Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis entered the world of horror with a scream, and it was a scream heard around the globe. Born in November 1958, she became the iconic final girl in John Carpenter's Halloween in 1978, a role that catapulted her into fame as cinema's quintessential scream queen. Yet before Jaime turned fear into fortune, her father, Tony Curtis, was already a legend. Born Bernard Schwartz in June 1925, Tony transformed himself into a Hollywood heartthrob, starring in classics like Some Like It Hot in 1959 and The Defiant Ones in 1958. His chameleon-like versatility allowed him to shift from comedy to drama, leaving an indelible mark on mid-century cinema. While Jaime inherited her father's dramatic flair, her path diverged sharply. Where Tony thrived in the studio system, Jaime carved her niche in the independent horror genre. Her Laurie Strode became a cultural touchstone, redefining the female hero in slasher films. Yet, Jaime's career wasn't confined to screams. She expanded into comedy, starring in A Fish Called Wanda in 1988, and later finding acclaim in TV's Freaky Friday in 2005. Her ability to balance terror and humor mirrored her father's own range, though their relationship remained distant. Tony's 6 marriages and strained family ties left Jaime with a complicated legacy, one she navigated with resilience. In recent years, Jaime has embraced new challenges, from hosting Halloween sequels to advocating for mental health awareness. Her memoir, This Is Me in 2020, laid bare her struggles with anxiety and her quest to separate her identity from Hollywood's expectations. Meanwhile, Tony's legacy endures through his films and his influence on stars like Jaime, who once said, "Dad taught me to take risks, even if it meant falling on my face." Their story is one of contrasts. Glamour versus grit. Golden age versus modern edge. Yet both remain icons of reinvention, proving that legacy isn't a cage. It's a foundation to build upon. Kate Burton and Richard Burton. Kate Burton's journey into acting was almost inevitable. Born in February 1960 to the legendary Richard Burton, she grew up in the shadow of one of theater's most thunderous voices. Richard, born in November 1925, was a titan of stage and screen, celebrated for his Shakespearean roles and his electrifying chemistry with Elizabeth Taylor. His performance as Hamlet in the 1964 film adaptation remains a masterclass in tragic intensity, while his turn as King Arthur in Camelot in 1967 showcased his operatic range. Yet Richard's life was as dramatic as his roles, marred by alcoholism, tabloid scandals, and a tempestuous marriage that captivated the world. Kate, however, chose a quieter path. While Richard dominated Broadway and Hollywood, Kate found her footing in the intimacy of stage work. Her performances in plays like The Glass Menagerie and The Seagull revealed a nuanced talent, one rooted in emotional subtlety rather than grandeur. She also embraced television, starring in Scandal in 2012 to 2018 as the morally complex Abby Whelan, a role that showcased her ability to navigate gray areas. Their relationship was marked by both admiration and distance. Richard's larger-than-life persona and frequent absences left Kate with a hunger to carve her own identity. "I wanted to prove I could act without his name," she once said. Yet his influence lingered. Kate's Shakespearean training and her comfort with classical text owed much to her father's legacy. When she reprised his iconic role in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? In 2016, critics noted echoes of his raw energy in her performance. Today, Kate continues to bridge the gap between stage and screen, embodying the Burton family's commitment to dramatic excellence. Her career is a testament to the power of legacy, not as a burden, but as a bridge between generations. From Richard's Shakespearean thunder to Kate's modern drama, the Burtons remind us that art, like family, is a conversation across time. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Hollywood's remarkable family trees. From silent film pioneers to modern-day award winners, each generation has contributed something fresh while honoring the brilliance of those who came before. We hope these stories inspire you to reflect on legacies in your own life. Remember to like, subscribe, and share if you've enjoyed this exploration. Stay tuned for more deep dives into entertainment's brightest stars.